Hello, welcome to Gagrul.net. This is Wally Sarkisian with Michael Saryan. And today we're going to dig more into Armenian cause or some other things. Michael is a pretty smart guy and he knows lots of things. He is always very helpful to Armenia financially and otherwise. And so we always like him back and talk to him. Michael, welcome.
Thank you, Wally. Thank you. Always pleasure to be with you on your show and speak to you and your audience. It is great conversation, and I always enjoy it. And obviously, sometimes the topics are not that enjoyable, but we enjoy our friendship and our relationship all these years. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you for coming. Appreciate your time. I know you're a very busy man. So I just want to set the stage. Where is this Pashinyan's taking it? But just 1 second, let me turn something off. That heater was on, making lots of noises, so I...
Oh, I see. Yeah, it's pretty cold.
Yeah, so we'll see if I freeze now here or not. So I want to set the stage. How this Pashinyan's taking this country into disaster. And then I want your input in it. I believe
Go ahead.
After all this shenanigans, I believe this man was recruited. And what he's doing is what his masters telling him to do. Because one man cannot do all this stuff. I don't believe it. So he came in power, whether his fake revolution. First day he basically said, well, after that he said, I want to be the prime minister. He forced the opposition to sign a letter. They're not putting forward any candidates for prime minister, only him. And again, it was a snap election, which is, how could you do 12-day election, And then he comes in power. Now, he never managed people in his life. Suddenly, he has this government to run. And so for him to keep the momentum going, he sucked Kocharyan back into the stage. And so he put him in jail and court, and court doesn't work, and he changed the court, he changed judges. But he can't win. So now he goes destroy Kocharyan country. So he just basically, all this corruption he was talking, it was some foolish thing. Armenia, like any other country, has corruption. Even this country, we have lots of corruption. But in Armenia, mostly low-level corruption. The police will stop the taxi driver, ask for money, stuff like that. But he made corruption a big deal. And so now, as you could see from the war, everything he does, I believe in Armenia, this guy is the only one knows what he's doing. All the people around, he brought them from street, he gave them all this position, created this Karuni with them. They have no clue what this guy is doing. He is the one, every time he meet, look at this here, every time he meet Aliyev, he meets secretly. And that's where they make those deals. That's what this war was done, planned, and designed to fail. Like he had to wait until Azerbaijan take over Shushi. And then he goes, again, secretly sign the letter. Without consulting with the president, his parliament, his people like foreign ministers. So everything he does in secretly. So where do you think this guy is taking this country?
Wally, you give a good background analysis. Clearly, Armenia, let's go back, as you said. I mean, Armenia gained independence when the Soviet Union collapsed. And one after another, we had not such a good leaders, basically. I mean, there were people came to power, the three ex-presidents. Basically, the country was not developed in those 30 years. And it was, of anything, they kept the status quo instead of strengthening the economy, the army, and they were just big talk. We have the best army because we were kind of arrogant because we won the 94 war. Again, instead of at that time forcing Azeris to a peace treaty on our terms, we didn't do anything. We just kept the status quo for 30 years, thinking it's our benefit. It was just the opposite happened. It was not in our benefit to keep the status quo because there was no peace, no deal, nothing. And the Azeris gained in this thing because they waited and waited, and they strengthened their armed forces. They have money, they have oil, and they made alliance with Turkey. See, back in '94, Turkey wasn't as actively involved because of the Turkish leadership and so forth. Whereas now with Erdogan, with his big dream of building a bigger Turkey like the Ottoman Empire, so they went into alliance with their money. They bought hardware, military hardware from everywhere, including Russia. They bought equipment from Russia, from Ukraine, from Europe, and Israel. And they strengthened their army so well that they found any excuse to attack us. And Pashinyan, he came to power with the premise that the country is corrupt. Yeah, it was corrupt. I mean, nobody's going to argue, but they, at least for 30 years, and I'm not defending these guys, those three guys that came to power, at least they negotiated, they talked back and forth, they kept them in check instead of just saying that, look, we're going to give you something back. They said, we're going to give you back. Again, that was a big mistake started right there. Instead of promising them to give them any land, they should have done a deal back in '94, '95 on your terms, like the Azeris doing now, because they are powerful. They have on their side, so they're dictating things to Armenia. And we lost an opportunity, a huge opportunity to make a deal, and we were kept most of these lands to us, maybe give them a little bit just to appease them and keep most of it to us. That did not happen. Obviously, it was a huge mistake and a loss of a great opportunity for us to be ahead. Now, we lost that. Now, this guy comes into power under the premise that the country is corrupt. Well, the people hated both Kocharyan and Serge and those guys. I mean, clearly the people in Armenia hated them with a passion. They want them to be gone. So he saw an opportunity to get in there and say it's corruption, corruption, corruption. And all of a sudden the people revolted and they put this guy, as you clearly said, he has no experience running anything. He never run any business, let's say, or he never run anything. I think he was a street protester, ended up I think he was in jail for 2-3 years, mm-hmm. Got out of jail, and somehow he was elected to the parliament. So, and in parliament, he was in opposition. He was constantly criticizing the government. And when he saw this opportunity, the people revolting, he took that. At least I give him credit for that, for that he saw an opportunity that most people did not see. I mean, anybody could have come, in my opinion, and said, I'm against Serge, I'm against Kocharyan, and they could have been elected. No question in my mind. Because the people were ready to bring somebody new and get rid of these corrupt leaders that we had. So he comes into power, the whole Armenian nation is united. I mean, Armenia is united, Diaspora is united, there's euphoria. I mean, it was absolute euphoria for him to come to power. I mean, they made songs about him, you name it. I mean, he became the biggest hero of Armenia in period, in our Armenian history, like Mezen Dikran or something. It was that type of name he became. But clearly, he has absolutely no experience in diplomacy. He has absolutely no, and he's pretty stubborn too. He doesn't listen to anybody. He does things on his own, and we have this disastrous situation. He makes statements and saying, this, that, whatever, instead of being diplomatic and sitting down and talking to the Azeris and Turks and to Russia. he went against Russia, number one. I mean, that was a big mistake. I mean, you can't do anything that, I mean, if you're going to do it, I mean, you're going to pay a price. Ukraine did it. I mean, but Ukraine is a much bigger country. 40 million people. I mean, they went against Russia and said, we're going to split. Our neighbors to the north, they split from Russia. So, I mean, you can split from Russia and go to the west, and that can, not a bad thing to do. But in Armenia's case, Armenia doesn't have those resources in order to split from Russia. I mean, we are dependent on Russia, no question about it. Military, economy, and everything else. They haven't been our best friends, Russia. I mean, they did whatever good for them. I mean, they gave free or near free medical hardware to, I keep saying medical because I'm in that field, military hardware, but they gave also same amount or maybe even bigger to the Azeris. But Azeris were smart. They, took the opportunity. They went and bought advanced, military hardware, all the drones. And with the Turks' assistance, they planned this thing. This was planned, I would say, a couple of years. It wasn't just overnight things that they came and attacked and used some excuse. Oh, you attacked us, so we're attacking back. This was well planned, and it was well organized by the Azeris with the help of Turks and the military hardware that they bought from Israel and everything else. I believe this guy is so incompetent. That's my opinion. I don't think, I could be wrong that he's an agent for anybody else, but I think he is totally incompetent. I don't think he knows what he's doing. And unfortunately, he's in charge. I mean, we have an incompetent leader of a country. He just doesn't know what he's doing. Completely, it's in a different space. Like putting me in charge of, I don't know, some business that I have no idea. But at least I will be smart enough to ask the expert. So he's incompetent on top of he's arrogant. So two double whammies, so to speak, because he's not getting any advice, as you said. He should have a good foreign advisor, foreign minister or something that he listened to. Well, he signed this agreement. He didn't even let his foreign minister know. Talk about this stupidity. How could you sign something without even discussing it with your foreign minister? The guy resigned. He was pissed off. He resigned. The same thing with military. And you had some guy in the military who was arrogant, and he keeps saying, we start a war, we're going to take more land. How stupid that is, how incompetent that is. He doesn't even know that the Azeris, what were they doing? The first thing you need to know, and I've been in business 30 years, you've been in business 30 years. The first thing I would like to know in anything, when I'm negotiating a deal, I want to know my enemy. I want to know who's negotiating with me. I want to know their strength, their weaknesses that I can use. Well, clearly, we had no idea what the Azeris were doing. We had clearly no intelligence. Basically, we have, arrogant, pompous type attitude. Well, we'll beat the shit out of them. And guess what? We got kicked. Our ass got kicked so badly. And not only military, we completely missed it. Diplomacy, we missed it. Sometimes in a military conflict, you may lose the military battle, but diplomacy might save your ass, basically. But here, diplomatically, it was even worse. How could you, logically, when there's a peace treaty, you turn around and give the lands back? You should stay wherever your positions are. That's the first thing you would do. Keep the army safe and negotiate. Well, he didn't negotiate. Within 10 days, we're going to give Kelpacha.
Because he was not interested. He wanted this to fail. Yeah.
So, obviously, because he's so incompetent, we are questioning. We're questioning, is this some conspiracy? Is this some, for him, getting something from the Azeris, or he's an agent for Azeris, or the Turks, whatever. Obviously, these questions, they're very legit, is coming because he's so incompetent, so stupid that he did these stupid decisions. There's just two conclusions, basically. Did he get paid from this? Is he an agent for somebody doing this?
Well, let me run.
Country? He destroyed Armenia, basically. Single-handedly, he destroyed Armenia. And Armenia is at a stage that is completely destroyed. Doesn't have any military. doesn't have anything. It's going to take Armenia at least 5 years, even to put some army back together,
Let
get
me
some
let
modern equipment,
let
not
me
just
run.
junky stuff, as you said, tanks and this and that. That's military. You need to have that, but also you need to have more modern stuff that you don't have to. You don't have to fight the battles with battles. I mean, look at them. They never used any tanks. I mean, they used pretty much drones, and they killed the Armenian army, and after that, the tanks start going. You see, they softened them. I mean, strategy was brilliantly done by the Turks, by the way, which they did in Libya very successfully. They did in Syria. So we should have learned from this, and none of us learned anything. I mean, Armenia is so. I mean, arrogant attitude they have, Armenians, that, oh, we're smart, we're strong, we're this, we're that. Instead of being, studying it very carefully, know your enemy. I mean, there's a saying in your saying, Lawali, you heard it, I'm sure. Keep your friends close, your enemies closer. That's what we needed to be done. Keep your enemy closer. Well, we never
Let
did.
me
I mean,
let
we went
me
in there so arrogantly.
let me run this actor writer. I met them in Armenia in a restaurant, but a few days ago they asked him a question. I want you to listen. If you don't hear it, let me know.
Sure.
Do you hear him?
Ayo.
Ես
Yes.
ռազմական գործիք չեմ ցավոք սրտի, ես չգիտեմ, ես գիտեմ, որ խաբվել ենք։ Ոչ, մենք ռազմի դաշտում չենք պարտվել, ես խորապես համոզված եմ, որ չենք պարտվել, որովհետև եթե լսել եք իմ կոչը, որ ես արել եմ, իմ կոչը պարզապես կոչ չէր կռվելու, իմ կոչը կոչ չէր պարզապես խաբվելու, ոչ, ես շատ պարզ ասել եմ, պետք է Աստծուց ուժ խնդրես, որ դիմանաս այն ամենին, ինչը դու վիճակի ես փոխելու, ու փոխես։ Աստծուց ուզես համբերություն, որ դիմանաս այն ամենին, ինչը դու վիճակի չես փոխելու։ Բայց ամենակարևորն էլ դի ուզես, իմաստնություն, որ այդ երկուսը իրարից տարբերես։ Իմ կոչը դրա մասին էր։ Մենք իմաստնություն չունեցանք ուրեմն։ Իմաստնություն չունեցանք, բայց փաստ էր, որ մենք ուժ ունեցանք։ 15 օրից ավել ոչ մի մետր ավել չի եկել թուրքը։ Ուրեմն մենք ուժեղ էինք, չէ՞։ Բայց այդ ուժը խնայել էր պետք, որտեղ այդ ուժը միայն ոգին չէր, այդ ուժը սնել էր պետք, այդ ուժը ինտելիգենցիա էր պետք անել։
So anyway, it's a long one, but as you could
Yeah.
see, the guy says we were winning the 15th day. Azerbaijan wouldn't take even 1 inch, and
Yeah.
this is the intelligent people in Armenia know these things. He said in Armenia, it says
It's
"Mezi
true. I mean, it's
khapetsin."
true. The first 15, even 20 days, Azeris wouldn't move an inch, and that's true. And we were able to fight that. I think the Azeris, what they did, and I talked to some people in in Artsakh. What they said, what they did in the first couple of weeks, basically they used the drones. They didn't even do anything, just use the drone. And the strategy was, with drone, kill their defenses. So the Armenian defenses start collapsing. And 2 weeks later, and they used, because they couldn't come head to head where the mountains are. They came from the south where there's no mountains. So they used the southern route, and that's where the Armenian defenses start collapsing. And they pretty much, walked in because nobody was left in Sushi to protect it. And it was, I think, complete incompetence by Pashinyan and his leadership, and he just he did not listen to the military people, and also diplomacy. Don't forget diplomacy, because even Putin said, I did a deal or transaction with Aliyev, and I was decided that to stop, and to his total surprise, he was able to convince him to stop this. And the only his mandate was let the Azeris come and live in Sushi. So what? I mean, what was the harm to this? If they come and live under Armenian control, how many people is going to come back? A couple of thousand? We're the majority, so it won't make any difference. He's in his own logic. He said, no, I don't want to take it. Even Putin said, I was shocked. I was surprised that he rejected it. So clearly, in the war, we made strategic wrong decisions. And in diplomacy that's going with the war, we made a strategic mistakes. Even though you could see that, yes, we're putting a good defense because they were attacking, but at some point you need to exit because you never know the outcome. And you don't know what your enemy has. Here, clearly the enemy has better equipment than us because they have more money.
Well,
They bought all the advanced equipment they can get with money, billions of dollars they spent, whereas we didn't spend that much money.
I don't want to concentrate on the war too much because it's too late now to even talk about that. But because I believe the war was designed to fail, so that's the end of it. But now he's trying to deal with Turkey, and the thing is, the funny part is, everything about Turkey we hear from the Turks. We never hear from Pashinyan. He goes into Georgia. He meet this Pashinyan, what his name, Erdogan military. This guy, it's MIT, they're spy basically, like Mossad and other.
CIA, yeah,
Right.
CIA of Turkey.
Begging Erdogan or Pashinyan want to go, but Pashinyan never told us. But Erdogan, when says, "Oh, Pashinyan sent message wants to meet me," and he said, "Well, we have condition they have to meet." And now is again, they're talking secretly. Erdogan comes and tell foreign minister, Turkey's foreign minister comes says, "Oh, we're gonna send a man to negotiate about this opening the border and stuff like that." And so it's all secretly this guy is doing it. But sometimes we hear from Aliyev the truth, we hear from Erdogan, but not from him. So he's now, as the worst of the worst, he's sending this idiot street protester is going to negotiate for Armenia. Think about this.
So again, you're correct. I mean, he doesn't say anything. Even during the war, he didn't say much. And all of a sudden, one day he says, "Oh, I signed an agreement to basically surrender." I mean, he doesn't communicate. He doesn't even let people know. And you're correct. We hear it from Erdogan and from Aliyev. And Aliyev and Erdogan are a lot more truthful than this guy. And this guy never tells the truth. And that's the problem. How do you have a leader of a country who doesn't tell you the truth?
I just put a video from Aliyev. He was saying, "Well, if you want Lachin to be open, then you have to open for us in Zengezur corridor." So there, what Armenia gonna do? And honestly, like this whole thing was on Karabakh. They're talking about everything but Karabakh.
Yeah, of course, because they're saying what they're saying. Karabakh issue is resolved. We resolved it militarily.
Yeah.
There's nothing to talk about it. It's like if there's nothing else, I mean, what are we going to talk about it? I mean, it's gone. Karabakh is gone. It's a foregone conclusion. It's gone.
So they keep changing the subject.
The best we can hope is they're going to say this is going to be Azeri land. You may have like a small section there within Stepanakert, which is going to be like an autonomous region within Azerbaijan. That's the best we can hope.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely. That's what exactly I was thinking. I think they're gonna fool Armenian with communication, borders, Turkey, open this, and eventually they say, "Well, we can't do it." So they'll give them autonomous region, and they're gonna have access to go back and forth, and this is probably the end of our Artsakh is gonna be.
Oh, that's I'm pretty much convinced. And now they're going to win one more time from a diplomatic standpoint. Why would they fight now? Because they're winning. They're getting everything. When you're getting everything you want, why are you going to fight? Right?
Yeah.
That's common sense. So clearly now their strategy is going to be, look, we won the war, took over Artsakh. Okay, give them this little section within Stepanakert, like the Armenians stay there. Russia can protect them, whatever. And that's still our land. It's our part of Azerbaijan. It's not part of Armenia. It's not independent country, so it's part of Azerbaijan. Now, if we can get this Zangezur corridor, we get Nakhichevan linked to us, that's it. We won. What else there is to negotiate? What else to fight?
Nothing.
And they're throwing this bone to Armenia, saying we're going to open the border with Turkey, and that's going to come with some hefty conditions. What they're talking about is, number one, Armenia will never ask for any land, any claims against any of the Western Armenia. That will be gone. Forget the recognition of any Armenian genocide or any compensation for that. He's giving it away. I mean, he's giving everything away without getting anything in return. And I don't get that. In negotiation, is give and take. You give some, you take some. Yeah, I know he's not in a stronger position, but even that, you'll be able to get something in return. This guy gets nothing in return. It's like everything's like giveaway. He gives it away as long as, you know, as if like he doesn't care or he doesn't interested, and he doesn't listen to anybody. Nobody listen. Now he's trying to make a deal with the Turks at the expense of 7-8 million Armenians in diaspora. I mean, who the hell appointed him to represent us in diaspora?
This
who
war,
made it?
Michael,
Representative of the Armenian community, and nobody even Armenian communities are saying anything. I mean, you didn't elect him to be representative of Armenia's diaspora. I mean, and you're making a deal on behalf of diaspora.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
yeah, it's Pashinyan is manipulating Armenian people. Well, we're gonna do this railway road. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do that. But not talking about that. And this war, Pashinyan war, was from first day when he closed Ministry of Diaspora. We knew it. His war is against diaspora and Artsakh. He won on Artsakh. He's now fighting diaspora. As you said, exactly, Pashinyan is going to do, you know. So it's because Turkey is frustrated with Armenian diaspora because we're having success after success, you know, recognition of genocide. So Turkey is frustrating. That's why they find Pashinyan to do their dirty works. And why would Pashinyan still negotiating with Azerbaijan? Suddenly now he's simultaneously want to negotiate with Turkey. So this is all a play to the destroyed diaspora and Artsakh. And he's succeeding. And as you mentioned, nobody in diaspora is speaking.
Yeah, I mean, nobody's saying, wait a minute, who appointed you to represent us in diaspora? I mean, did we vote it for you in diaspora? Did we have an election in diaspora? I mean, you have no business in talking on behalf of diaspora and agreeing to, not recognize the genocide, not give any compensation for any of the survivors. Now, the third generation is probably survivors, and giving the Turkey the pass, saying, hey, all this land that you took on the Western Armenians belongs to you. I mean, this is just unbelievable to me. I mean, I don't know what this guy is.
He's an agent.
I mean, it came to that almost people concluding he's an agent of Turkey. That's what they're thinking because, only an agent like that would do it. No rational person would do it. And you know what? I'm even more angry at the people of Armenia. They elected this guy again at 54 or 52% votes.
Yeah.
I mean, who's more idiot, him or the people of Armenia? I mean, that's really, to me, it is, how could a leader who lost the war be re-elected? I mean, that's, to me, is the biggest irony. I can't believe it.
Actually,
I mean, in Japan, if the military leader lost any war, he kills himself. I mean, look at the Japanese culture. I mean, or any other culture. I mean, how could you be a leader when you lose something? I mean, just to me is very, very
actually
bizarre.
in Greek intellectual wrote on Twitter. He said if this was happen in Greece, entire Greece population will rise up, destroy the parliament. How could Armenians do this? I mean, everybody is being shocked. Armenian people are so silent. I mean, yeah, they do little protest here and there, but nothing, this guy is getting away. So what he's doing, this guy, in fact, I'm going to show you this. You probably seen it, I published. He goes to Echmiadzin to open a school. They locked down the entire city. Here is the video. Watch. So here comes the dictator.
Well, so many. He has more cars than the president of the United States has.
Yeah.
Security.
Exactly.
I mean,
Now
Jesus
look at
Christ, so many cars.
Look at that. So what he knows. So he created, he gave the police raise after raise. He created this security around himself because he cannot even walk anymore in the street, so that when he make all those decisions, he'll be safe. Nobody gonna do, because Armenia now has this stigma because they went into the parliament, they killed the prime minister, and there is, so now nobody's gonna try to do anything like that, and nobody is rising up. There are few people here and there, and they never unite with each other. So he's getting away with crime.
I mean, I am in shock again. Number one, why would the people re-elect them? That's number one. Number two, him as a person. If I lost, and I made the analogy for a business, if I lost, I don't know, 10, 20% or 50% of my business, you think my board of directors and my shareholders will keep me as the CEO?
Yeah.
They will kick me out
Exactly.
same day.
Yeah.
I'll be out the door.
Yeah.
I mean, even much less mistakes when CEOs make, they're out the door. They fire them. The board will say, you're out of here.
Yeah.
So I think taking analogy from business and even in politics, I mean, how could you be elected or re-elected again? I mean, I understand initially people were mad at the other guys. They're all corrupt and whatever, Kocharyan, all those guys, and they're gone. I understand that, but now, how could you? And he asked for an election, and he knew it, and the people, I mean, blindly support this guy. I mean, that's the biggest.
Hold for a second. Here is one of his cult. Listen to this woman.
Եթե թուրքն կա մեզի սաղին մորտա, ես իրանք էլ են Փաշինյանին եմ ուզում իրանք, թող ուրիշ նույնիսկ մտնի ձերտուն ձեր թորներին.
Says if a Turk come and murder us, murder my children, we want Pashinyan. What do you do with society like this?
It's a stupid society. What can I say?
This is the problem.
I can't believe it. This is the problem. People are so brainwashed that they don't think. I mean, they're just. I don't understand it. I mean, to me, it's a worst mental. See, a lot of people outside Yerevan, you have intellectuals, people went to school, they're educated, they understand. But anybody outside Yerevan, in these villages and in these areas, in the other cities, I mean, they're not educated. They don't understand it, and they think this guy, because he came and get rid of Kocharyan, those guys. I mean, they hated them so much. So anybody but those guys, and he's manipulated. He said, if I go, Kocharyan is going to come, and Kocharyan is like is the devil. Yeah. I mean, they don't want him.
Well,
which is very sad.
Listen to this guy.
Այսինքն նրա Ղարաբաղցին ալբանացի է։ Աբա ինչա, կարող է ֆրանկ։ Իսկապես Զարմաղցիք հայ չեն։ Չէ, Ղարաբաղցի է։ Որց են հայ։ Այսինքն նրա Ղարաբաղցին ալբանացի է։ Աբա ինչա, կարող է ֆրանկ։ Իսկապես
So how you run a country with those kind of people? He says Karabakh, they were Albanians, they were not Armenians. This is the problem.
Living in diaspora, we're not even Armenians, because he's thinking Karabakhis are not Armenians. So probably they're going to think us. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they think of us. I have no idea. That's funny. That is so hilarious.
Honestly, I could show you so much of this stuff. We could spend all day. But this is the problem, And he created these brainwashed people, and how you deal with it?
Well, he which is a horrible thing to do. He divided the people.
Yeah.
He divided, saying those are Karabakhis, they're not Armenians. Those are diaspora, they're not Armenians.
Yeah.
Only Armenians in Armenia are Armenians, basically. So why are you coming to us and asking us for help? Why are you asking our money? Why are you asking us to support you with investment?
Well, now they don't
and
need you
support?
anymore. Turkey is gonna come and build everything, so don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
sure. I'm sure Turkey was going to do it. So in that case, I'll keep my money. That's better for me.
Yeah. So
Keep it in my pocket as opposed to giving to them. I mean, the place. I mean, look. Recently, I updated, or not updated, a pretty much brand new heating system in a church in Gyumri, where the big earthquake happened. These guys got millions of dollars through the years for that for Gyumri for the earthquake, right? I mean, from 1988 on, fundraising after fundraising for the people in Gyumri. They never did anything, nothing. The place was freezing, and I felt so bad for the children because they have children. 110 children were in freezing. And I said, you know what? I will put entire brand new heating system for them to have a heat in this harsh winter. And I got personal satisfaction, even though I was upset at the things they've done in Armenia. I'm upset at the Armenia Fund and all these people raising all this money. Where the hell this money went? I have no idea. I mean, they stole it. They took this money.
Yeah.
They didn't even spend a penny. I mean, why would you not? The major church in Gyumri could not have a heating system when people were freezing to death. And they could have spent some of that money in taking care of the people's needs. These guys did not do anything. Whether the previous regime or this regime, doesn't matter. The proof is today. I mean, it hasn't been done till I came, and I did spend from my own pocket, my own cash, building it and updating it and putting a brand new heating system that people will not freeze to death in the church and the school for children. Yeah. I mean, how could you in good conscience take all these monies and let other people, your fellow citizens, froze to death? I mean, that is, to me, is a murder.
And they have $200,000 buying a BMW for this idiot Alan Simonian, which is the president of the legislature. And his brother been soaked with millions of dollars of contract, So they were blaming the other one corruption, but they're turning up much bigger corrupt, So
of course, 100%.
Yeah. So this is I'm going to show you is the people who know Pashinyan. They were like journalists with Pashinyan. What they say. I wonder you hear it.
Մոտավորապես 30 տարի աշխատել եմ լրագրող, բայց այն մակարդակի կոռուպցիա, այն մակարդակի փողասիրություն, ես կասեի փողապաշտություն, ոնց որ եղել է Նիկոլի մոտ, ես որևէ տեղ չեմ տեսել ու դժվար է դա պատկերացնել, որ երբևէ կարա լինի։ Ես նույնիսկ մի հատ sense ձևակերպում կարամ ասեմ, որ ուղղակի նրա կյանքի ողջ նպատակը, եթե բարձ ձևակերպենք, դա փող աշխատելն է եղել։ Կա, եղել է, կա եւ իմ կարծիքով շարունակում է լինել։
Իր համար միակ արժեքը դա փողն է։ Ես շատ ժամանակ իրեն ասել եմ, որ դու եզակի չես, որ դու ուղղակի քո պատանեկությունը եւ երիտասարդությունը համընկել է երկրի համար բարդ ժամանակաշրջան։ Բոլորն են վատ ապրել, բոլորն են թերսնվել, բոլորն են փողի խնդիր ունեցել, բայց իրեն թվում էր, որ բոլորը 90-ականների սկզբին, 80-ականների վերջին լավ են ապրել, բայց ինքը վատ է ապրել ու ատելություն է առաջացել հենց իր ընտանիքի նկատմամբ եւ դրանից հետո դա պրոյեկցվել է ամբողջ ազգի ու պետության վրա։
Ես ճանաչում եմ Նիկոլ
So anyway, so do you see that? The guy, he was a street protester, had making like $200-300. Now Pashinyan is multimillionaire. So
of course. Look, and I was listening to the last speaker, and he's saying, he has this animosity that he was poor. Now it's his turn to make money, and he wants to make money because he always in his life he never really had any money, and now is trying to do everything he can be a rich guy, an oligarch himself. So.
If you didn't go to United States, you went to Armenia and you become successful as you are, you would be considered another corrupt. That's how Armenian looked for successful people. It's been
Well, they should look at Pashinyan. He's becoming
but that's okay.
successful.
Well,
Is he exception?
yeah, well, if you listen to this woman, he deserved it because God sent him. Look, listen to this.
Պետք է մնա, ու եթե Աստծո կողմից է դրված, ովքեր խոսում են իրանց ազգի թակավորի մասին, վարկաբեկում են, անհարգում են, անհարգալից են խոսում, դա գալիս է իրենց տան դաստիարակությունից։ Ես ազգի թակավոր ես Ռոպեին գիտեմ, որ Նիկոլն է պետք է մնա, ու եթե Աստծո կողմից է դրված, ովքեր խոսում են իրանց ազգի թակավորի մասին, վարկաբեկում են, անհարգում են, անհարգալից են խոսում, դա գալիս է իրենց տան դաստիարակությունից։ Ես ազգի թակավոր
So this is where we're dealing with it. He created this cult, and it's how are you going to deal with those people? One thing is God.
Now, if he goes as another election, he'll win again. He'll win. He will win. No question in my mind that the people are. I don't know. I don't want to use bad words, but ill-educated, I should say.
Yeah. So
I'm trying to be polite.
So what do we do in diaspora when we're dealing with those kind of people?
Nothing.
How do we deal this?
Well, we can't do anything because number one, we cannot elect or vote. Only the citizens of Armenia living in Armenia can vote. So we have no voice in the parliament. I mean, he's the majority, and he's elected by the parliament to be the prime minister. Clearly, he is in charge. I mean, he's smart. The way he did it, he came to power. He got rid of the parliament because the parliament was majority, was the other party. He insisted on election. He won the election, and now he has the mandate of the people. And we in diaspora, 8 million of us, even at 2 million Armenia, we can't do anything. We're powerless. The only thing we can do is continue our fight here, not agree, and put the pressure on Turkey like we won in U.S. Congress, and that's the fight we're going to continue. Basically, against Azeris and Turks. But the problem is, when he goes and makes a deal with Turkey and Azeri, you're powerless. You become impotent, basically, because they're going to say, look, Armenia agreed to this. Well, who the hell are you not agreeing to this? You're not the country. You're not even a citizen of Armenia. You see, that's what it's going to end up. It's going to be a conflict between diaspora and Armenia now.
It's already there, already has.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a huge conflict because diaspora and the majority in diaspora, they're going to say, well, look, we have no voice in this. We have no representation in any of the parliament or public things. It's only the citizens of Armenia has to vote and elect the parliament. And the parliament is the guys. It's his party, 52% or 54%, whatever it is.
Shouldn't somebody in Armenia and all those people send direct message? Armenian, they have this pan-Armenian, whatever it is they call them, call a press conference and send message to Pashinyan, says, we will not recognize Western Armenia is Turkey. We will not recognize everything that you do with Turkey. So somebody has to speak out. Nobody's doing it.
I know. I'm surprised. Our traditional parties, all three of them, they're not speaking. I mean, they should very strongly condemn this. And our both Gatogos has to stand up and say something, and they're not.
They're not.
I mean, nobody's saying anything. Nobody wants to be the bad guy, basically.
Well, what bad guy there is in there? Telling the truth is not a bad guy. Now me and you were talking. We're a bad guy. We're showing the world how idiot people are electing this guy.
Yeah, I know. Wally, I'm so distressed myself. What's going on here? What's the situation is? I mean, it's reaching a stage that you feel like hopeless.
Yeah.
Nothing you can do. I mean, I'm not in power. I'm not in parliament. I'm not in minister. I'm not elected by the people. I have no power. Whatever I say or you say doesn't mean anything because we're nobody, basically. We're just saying our opinion.
Well, we're just trying to wake up the diaspora because, there is 8 million of us and there is 700,000 people who vote for this idiot. You can, lose a country or in our case, Western Armenia, our cause, because of 700,000 idiot voted for Pashinyan.
I know. I mean, that's basically 10%. Decided our fate.
Yeah.
And Turkey knows that.
Yeah.
They're very, very clever.
This is war, Turkish war against using Pashinyan to attack the diaspora. This is
100%.
how they,
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
That Turkey is very shrewd. I mean, they're saying, look, we can get him on our side, which he's already on our side. He's begging us to do a deal. So we can use him against the diaspora. So, I mean, why should we go and fight the diaspora? Because it's very hard for them to fight diaspora.
Yeah, they can't. They can't
because
fight
we're
us.
in different countries and we're citizens of these countries, and he can't force us. I mean, I'm an American citizen. Turkey cannot say anything to me. I mean, how could they say anything or force us to do anything? And we can, it's a free country, and we have the power to do what we want. We're not in Armenia. That's where Pashinyan is going to tell us what to do. Or we're not citizens of any other place. So thank God for that. So the only way you can use Armenia against us, which is very sad. And put Armenia against diaspora. And
he destroyed Karabakh. Now he's going after Armenia diaspora.
Diaspora, exactly right. And that's the sad situation. I mean, I'm not optimistic, Wally. I feel very, very sad. And we're at the end of our conversation because I have to go to work.
Yeah.
My real work. But we can always talk again and again. But the results are not going to be different, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think so. But I hope lots of people. Like, we need to put pressure on those people who are in leadership to speak out of this.
Sure.
And I really thank you very much for coming, taking your time. We hope we could meet.
Wally, anytime. We always enjoy talking and debating and discussing these crucial issues for us as Armenians. And I'm sorry, we're in this difficult situation as opposed to much better outcome and much better future for us as Armenians.
Yeah. Thank you again, Michael. You have a nice day.
Thank you.
For our viewer, we'll soon come up with another episode. Just keep following us, and we will expose Pashinyan crime against Armenian nation. This is what is really a crime against Armenian nation. He's working with the Turk to destroy. He already destroyed Karabakh, and now he's going after the diaspora. We must stop this. And thank you for watching. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Wally.
Bye.